Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. This is Motorsport Manager. It's episode number 23. Quick note before we jump into qualifying in Canada. In-game, it's Vancouver. Of course, in real life, it's Montreal. They've just got the track reversed for the most part. The quick note is that Max Verstappen, in between every race, he's still developing as a driver, unlike Verne, who is maxed out. And Verstappen has just hit another quarter of a star. He's now at 4.5 stars. Right there with the best. I don't think anybody is higher than 4.5 stars on the grid. We've got both cars at 98%. You can see where we're lacking a couple percentage points, but it's really hard to nail that down any further. So without any further ado, let's get to qualifying. See, we've been at 98% for that last little bit here. We have 7 sets of tires. And as for the race, 52 laps, I want to say. Super Softs will easily make that. Ultras will not. So, makes our decision quite simple for that one stopper. And we'll send Verstappen out. And then Verne, send them on auto for their first laps. Might slow it down a little bit on their second. You can see the pits are in the wrong place. The pits should be right here. And then this is all flipped, as here's your long straight with the chicane right by pit entry and then exit for turns 1, 2. And then curling around for the other, so it's just all in reverse. Okay, down to 4 minutes, and currently we are 20th, 21st. Not a great start, but at least we're not last. And 3.5 minutes, we're looking at a minute and a half, so we're looking at a little over 2.25 minutes. So I'd say maybe 3 and 2:45 for sending them out. Okay, there's 3. And then 2:45 for Verne. Fresh set of tires, and away we go. Final minute of the session. Both of them have already started their hot laps, so we had a little bit more time to spare than I thought. That's okay. Grip is definitely high right now. There's not very many cars out there. In fact, really, the top 14, 15 all think that they are secure. Verstappen and Verne both green through their first 2 sectors, looking to improve their times. Verstappen does improve his time, but does not improve his position. Verne, meanwhile, improves his time ever so slightly, but again, not the position. So both of them slight increase, or slight improvement to their time, decrease to the time overall. But in both cases, not enough to change anything. And we're out in Q1 at 20th and 21st, ahead of Pascal Wehrlein, Marcus Ericsson, and Robert Kubica. Also, Wickens out in Q1 in the other Williams, our closest competitors. Hamilton quickest in Q1 with Vettel and Bottas. The next 2. And we'll quickly get through the other 2 sessions so we can get into the race. And as we do so, quick note. So, first off, going forward, at least for the next season or so, I'm going to start doubling up races and then just editing down the content a bit so we can move forward a little quicker. It's going to take a while before we truly develop a competitive car. We're hitting the points, but we're kind of in that same position, same boat. We're not making rapid progress. So until we truly become a midfield competitor, midfield car, and start competing for top 10s regularly, we're just going to quickly go along. Hamilton again quickest. So starting next episode, we'll be getting a double dose of races in one. I just didn't have the time right now. Main reason for that, the not having the time. And the other note, so in the past, just over a week, my dad had 2 major surgeries in and out of the hospital, and my dad's sister, my aunt, passed away of a heart attack this last week, so we've been dealing with the arrangements and everything else regarding that. And then just yesterday, we were at her house going through the piles of dust and then all her belongings below those piles of dust that have been gathering for many, many years. She'd been in that house for longer than I've been alive. So I just inhaled tons of dust yesterday. So today I've been sneezing and runny nose and all of that fun stuff. Oh, we are ready for race. We're going super softs. So I will try to keep the sniffles and whatnot out of this content as much as possible, but in order to keep things moving along for the channel, I have no choice. I can't take a couple days off. I have to record with everything that's been going on the last week and a half. I am just barely keeping up with the channel right now, so time has not been my friend. But we are ready to go racing here in Vancouver, aka Montreal, for the Canadian Grand Prix. From the back of the grid, and by the way, it's Vettel on pole, not Hamilton. But it's a Mercedes and Ferrari front 2 rows, with the Red Bulls making up row 3. 5 red lights, and we are ready to go racing. Verstappen good off the line. He's going to get ahead of the Williams of Wickens. He's also ahead of the other Audi of Rosberg, and into 18th place. Having a look around the outside for 17th. It's now the inside. He goes 3 wide and up into 15th. What a move from Verstappen there. That was through the hairpin that he makes a double move, and it was actually finishing off the move right before it, so you could just about call that a triple move by Max Verstappen there. 3 wide ahead of us. Can we take advantage and find an opening, get a gap, and go through as well? No, we do not. And actually, we get checked up, and that allows the Red Bull. No, that's the Toro Rosso. My bad. Toro Rosso of Charles Leclerc, and that's still weird to me that Charles Leclerc would go down to Toro Rosso with all the big 3 teams and the quality. But this mod does not treat Leclerc fairly, and this time around the hairpin, the double move goes against us. Verstappen 2 wide on entry. The Williams gets his nose in there, and the McLaren squeezes in with him, and we get pushed wide all the way down back to 18th. Meanwhile, Vern's in 22nd. So neither car doing terribly well on this, but you've got a lot of cars out there on Ultras, and they're going to have multi-stop races, causing a collision. No action taken, but Verstappen, I didn't even see anything there that suggested a collision, but his front wing is damaged after he got into the gearbox of the car in front. He's down to 17% and 0% on the tire wear, so he has a puncture and no wing, and we're looking at whole lot of laps to go, so I think we're kind of right back where we were. Yeah, those are not going to quite make it to the end, so super softs, we're going to need one additional stop. And replacing the wing, this is going to really mess up Max's race. How close is he? Oh gosh, he's got a whole long lap to go around with this puncture, so he's just going to go backwards and backwards and backwards. He's already into last place. Still has nearly half a lap to complete. Stroll with a lockup. Cassidy lockup. Kubica locks up. Verstappen makes it back to the pits, repairs the wing, back out on track. Luckily, there was no action necessary, so he's a third of a lap down, maybe a half a lap down on the back of the field. And we're going to run neutral for a while and settle into the race. Speaking of, we need to get with Vern now in 19th and handle his situation, which is tires that are starting to overheat. You know, those around us, Cassidy, Magnussen, Rosberg, Kubica, Ericsson, Verline, all on long stints. A few front runners, Grosjean, Raikkonen, and Stroll on long runs. Those guys are going to really benefit. Those three could finish quite high in this race. And then everybody else on ultras. Leclerc will have to pit early. He's taking some extra wear. Be nice if you could hold off Rosberg there, Vern. Meanwhile, Verstappen's gap is 53 seconds behind. So keep an eye on that. He's 23 seconds to Verline. See if he can start closing that down a little bit without any traffic. He's got lots of clean air to run in. Meanwhile, at the front, it's Pierre Gasly in the Red Bull leading this race over Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton. Perez all the way up in 4th. Ocon in 5th. Glock and Bottas, really poor starts for them as they are in 6th and 7th. Battling each other now. Bottas reversing that. Stroll, Raikkonen in a great position at 8 and 9 and on longer stints. Norris, Leclerc, Hulkenberg. Leclerc's going to have to pit here very soon. That's going to back him way up down the order. In fact, that should put him in 23rd. We might see him pit this lap. He's already down to 12th now. He does not. He's going to go around one more time at least. The top 3 have pulled away a bit. 4 through 8 have pulled away a bit. And then 9 on back. Ricciardo, drive-through penalty causing a collision. That's going to set back his race. So far, Verstappen, the only one who has pit. Now, it looks like running normal, the tires are staying right where they're at. There's no change at all to the tires, or at least running normal. Let's go ahead and make up for this by running high a little bit. Bring the tire temps down into the happy range. And let's go ahead and go back to normal. Neutral, that is. Okay, so checking in on those gaps, we've lost 7 additional seconds, but we were 23 seconds behind. We're now 17 seconds behind. Virtual safety car on lap 12. Oh, that's an interesting one, because now it's 40 laps to go. Those softs could make it to the end, but we have no bonus on them. Meaning they're going to be awfully slow. I don't think we should take this time. Yeah, we're already past it. Verstappen was already past. That is Ricciardo? No. Glock. Timo Glock in the Mercedes has crashed out of this race. Virtual safety car ending. Neither car was anywhere near the pits, so no reason to use it. The Red Bull of Ocon has taken advantage of the virtual safety car to pit, though it ended while he was still on a pit road, so he's going to benefit slightly, but not greatly from that, but certainly benefit a little bit. And you can see Verstappen has closed the gap a bit. For one, Ricciardo well behind us after his drive-through penalty and subsequent stop. Sainz has pit, so we're 12 seconds behind Sainz. Leclerc has pit now. So where's the gap to Verline? It's at 13 seconds. We've pulled back 10 seconds on Verline. Has Verstappen. So Verstappen running well. Vern, meanwhile, up into 15th. We have the spare fuel to run a little bit harder. Meanwhile, Vettel pits, giving up second position. He's going to come out in fourth, so he had enough of a gap to stay ahead of the Racing Point, but behind the other one, just behind the other one. Let's go ahead and check in with that battle. Here's Perez trying to hold off the now fresh tires on Sebastian Vettel's car. We're already on lap 16 now. Here comes Vettel. He locks up, but he still makes it on by the Racing Point of Sergio Perez. Hamilton's still in the race lead. Gasly just pit as well, so Gasly is down to second place, just ahead of Sebastian Vettel, and also should be good to go to the end of the race on those soft tires. If he can hold off Vettel and keep Vettel behind him, Vettel on the ultra softs will not last long. We'll need an extra stop and we'll get set back significantly. So Gasly's entire race could come down to, if he could keep Vettel behind him, he could possibly win this race. Vern now up to 14th as Wickens pits. In terms of runners in front of us, Hulkenberg might come out behind us. He is pitting now. We'll find out. Safety car, safety car, safety car. Ricciardo crashed from the back of the grid. We are full safety car, and there is Vern. We've got 34 laps to go. 34. Will those tires make it 34 laps? Not really. Not really. So you need softs, Vern. And then you're good to go to the end of the race. So we're going to do that. And then we are going to double stack, because here comes Max. He might be able to make it on the super softs. It's a real stretch, but we've got a couple laps under safety car that we're going to have here, and then it's going to stack us up. Others are going to pit later, and this could work out. Fuel low. Okay, Vern into the pits. It's a quick stop. He's out. He'll be good to go to the end. Here comes Max down pit road. Also good. And he'll head back out. Now, neither car is a lap down. We're still on the lead lap, so we are very much in this race. 22 cars left running. Verstappen is that 22nd car, but he is done with pit stops for the day. Hamilton pitting and fixing a problem. We'll go ahead and see how that's going. Will he come back out in the front? I think he will. Slow down pace of the safety car allows Hamilton to come out on the softs. He, like Verstappen, might make it the distance. So Hamilton, Gasly at the front. Vettel will absolutely have to pit again. Stroll, Raikkonen have not pit yet. Is anybody else coming in now? No, they are not coming in. About a little bit further back. Grosjean is pitting. Great time for him to go, but he comes out on the ultra softs. Oh, Haas, what have you done? You could have gone the distance. He's going to come out ahead of Hulkenberg, though, so he does pick up one position under safety car. Hulkenberg now in 10th. Cassidy, 11th. Norris is 12th. Magnussen, let's speed this up. Come on now. Let's get back to racing. Vern is 18th. Verstappen is 22nd after those pit stops. However, looking around the order real quickly, Hamilton, good to go. Gasly is good to go. Cassidy and Norris are good to go. Wickens is good to go and ahead of us. Oh, that sucks. We were ahead of him. Vern is good to go. Rosberg is good to go, and Verstappen is good to go. By my count, that was 8 or 9 cars that are good to go to the end of the race. Everybody else is going to have to stop again. And Field bunching up now behind that safety car. Verstappen hasn't quite made it there yet, but this lap we're going to go back to racing. There we go. Now we're all bunched up. Let's get back with our cars. Max is going to be the quicker between him and Vern because he's better on tires. He's got a better compound, even though Vern's in 18th and Verstappen's 22nd. This favors him a bit more, this situation. Both of them have a full lap of fuel to spare. Safety car pulling away, but things have not sped up just yet. We're going to save the tires, but we will use the fuel. How's the safety car heading in? There we go. Here's the speed up. Verstappen already pressuring Rosberg, and he's going to get by before he even crosses the start-finish line. Technically, that's illegal, but not in this game. And meanwhile, the other Audi of Pascal Wehrlein, both he and Rosberg get around him. We got 3 wide ahead with Vern sandwiched right in the middle of that, heading into the hairpin. Verstappen makes another move, completes that one around the Audi, and he's up into 20th. Vern is up into 17th. Right now, this is nothing but spare fuel. Vern, with a problem, goes backwards. He's down to 19th, and Verstappen's going to get by through the chicane. Still battling. Vern pulls back ahead for now. Coming up on the start-finish line. Oh, Vern, come on. 4 wide. 4 wide. It pushes the Audi wide. He locks up. Verstappen finally comes out ahead. That's 5 cars battling for 1 position. Now Vern trying to make it both of us clear of those 3. It's Ericsson now in between us. Go ahead and push for a little bit. Get that position. He's in 20th. Now he's going backwards. Vern getting caught out. Battling the Alpha. The Audi is pressuring us. And there we go. We're back clear of the Audi again. Well, we've definitely lost ground on the Alpha, so let's go ahead and push back up a little bit further. Verstappen's starting to pull away from this group a little bit, closing the gap on the Williams. And we're going to speed it up a little bit. Vern with a lockup. Through the hairpin, down the long straight. And there we are coming up on the Williams of Robert Kubica. Oh, he is not stopped. Okay, he's on 0 stops right now. Vern goes backwards down to 22nd. And there's a spin. Somebody spun. And I get a drive-through penalty. There was nothing there. We were not anywhere near a car, and I get a drive-through penalty. Oh, screw you, game. Kubica spun. And I get a drive-through penalty because he spun out in front of me. Wasn't anywhere near him. Ah, you gotta be kidding me. Screw you, Gabe. Screw you, because there goes our race. We're down to... Oh, we came out with... Ruined our lockup to avoid the contact with Kubica after his spin. There's nothing left on our tires, so now Max will have to stop again, and he's back to 21st after taking the drive-through penalty just behind Vern. So Vern is just around the corner from us, half a straight ahead. And he's gone backwards. Both Audis... Oh no, one Audi got around him. That's one Audi between us. He's behind Kubica now. So Kubica just cost us a lot. Leclerc pits from 17th. He goes back to 21st. He's on Ultras again. those are not going to make it the distance. He's going to have a third stop in this race. Of course, Max is as well, but his circumstance is different on that. But we're right at the back. It's not good. Leclerc gets around Verstappen. He's faster on the Ultras. He is faster in the Toro Rosso. Meanwhile, at the front of the race, Hamilton and Vettel are pulling away, but Vettel, who's on the faster compound than Gasly, is going to have to stop again, but he's opened up a really big gap. So Gasly still in contention for second, but very much out of contention for the race win now. And if he loses too much more time to Vettel before Vettel pits, Vettel could come out ahead or just behind him. Meanwhile, fuel is still good to go. Depending on how many laps I get out of Verstappen, we might come out on... We're not going to pit now, but he's got nothing left on Super Softs. So I'm going to want to go to Ultras, which means we're going to need to get down to about 18 laps to go. So we need to get about 4 more laps out of these tires before he stops. Leclerc with a lockup. Kubica pitting. Finally, his first stop of the day. He's going to come out well behind. Vern's up into 16th. Verstappen's 20th. Vern under pressure by Leclerc and Magnussen. Magnussen benefiting from it, though, and Leclerc having to battle back again, so he struggled to get around Vern. And now he's got to defend as well. That's good for us. Lap 32 now, back with Verstappen. He's going to have to pit here pretty soon, but like I said, I want to make it 2 more laps here. 2 more laps from now. We just now crossed the start-finish line. I think he could make 2 laps. He's at 25%. Leclerc gets around Vern and Magnussen. They both went around Vern, so he drops 2 places. But not to worry, Leclerc will pit again soon. Magnussen I'm not so sure about. I think Magnussen will make it to the end, though. Okay, we would be down to 18 right now. I need to get 1 more lap. 1 more lap. We're going to push. We're going to do 1 last lap. Make it 17. That way I know we'll make it. And then we're going to go on the Ultras to the end of the race. Car's not in great shape, but it'll hold up to the end of the race. But we're coming from the back of the grid. I mean, there's 1 car behind us, and that's it. So, Max's chances of a top 15 are pretty bad. Ericsson's out, Ricciardo's out, Glock is out. Not sure quite when Ericsson went out of the race, but I think it was after the restart. Into the pits for Max. Quick stop. 2.7 seconds, and he's back out. But again, he's in last place and just came out behind Hamilton. Vettel did stop, and he is ahead of Gasly. So it's now Hamilton, Vettel, big gaps between them. Gasly third. Big gap. Perez, Hulkenberg are going to have to stop again pretty soon, so they're going to give up those positions. Bottas is close enough to be ahead of both of them and good to go to the end of the race, so he will move up to 4th. Ocon will move up to 5th. Norris could move up to 6th. It'll be close. And Sainz good to go to the end of the race now. No, don't overheat. Vern in 18th. He's going to get lapped before too long here. Well, he might. It's only 14 laps to go. He probably will, but it's not a guarantee yet. Oh, rear wing. Okay. Okay, Leclerc just pit again. He came out ahead of Verstappen. Behind Vern. Verline's about to pit, so that'll knock him back well behind us. But that'll give Leclerc clean air to catch up to us in 12 laps, which he might do. Chances of getting into the points today not looking great. If Wickens pits again, if Cassidy pits soon, Raikkonen pits soon, but those guys are far enough ahead, I think they'll come out ahead. Hulkenberg and Perez both pitting at the same time. They do come out behind Bottas and Ocon, so they both inherit a position and Sainz. And they come out 7 and 8. Vern. How's the car looking now? Still 21%. We'll get 10 to go this time by. And meanwhile, here is the race leader, Lewis Hamilton, coming up on Vern to lap him. Just the first time in this race. Of course, that safety car helped us out a lot. Hamilton looks like he will have to stop again before the end of this race. His tires are not in great shape. That could give the win to Vettel. Wouldn't that be something? Yellow flag. Raikkonen with the spin. He's still ahead of us, though. And on fairly fresh tires. And now Vern is a lap down. That wing's down to 6%. Oh, come on. I don't think he's going to make it. I don't think he's going to make it. We're going to have to stop. We'll bring out on Ultras, but day is done. This sucks. 19 seconds. We weren't going to make it another 9 laps. It was just too much. Too long. So to avoid the DNF for the mechanical, Vern pits, comes out in 21st, Verstappen 20th. Now there's nothing left to race for other than watching what happens at the front. So we're going to speed it up, get to the end of this. Just a handful of laps to go. At least Verstappen's ahead of Verline. And he's close to Kubica now. Hamilton lapping a couple back markers. 4 laps to go. Tire wear is bad, so is Gasly, but if he's smart, he makes it to the end. But of course, Mercedes in this game does not do that. 3 laps to go. There was a quick yellow there. I don't know who or what it was, but Rosberg pits. Now it's only 3 laps. You can make it. Okay, last 3 laps will slow it back down a little bit. Still just 19 and 21. Rosberg back ahead of us, unfortunately, on his brand new fresh Ultras. Cassidy with a problem. Hamilton and Vettel both with a problem. Stroll spun and both of them crashed into him. At the moment, Vettel getting around a little bit quicker than Hamilton. They both have punctures. They both have damage. Can Bottas win this from 3rd place as he's gone around Gasly, who just pit his 2nd time? With just a few laps to go. Boy, oh boy, we've got a race on our hands. There they are, Ferrari, Mercedes, side by side, down pit road. Who will get out quicker? The Ferrari does. Hamilton's got problems. He has got problems. Oh boy, that is lengthy problems. He's going to come out all the way in 7th place, right behind Hulkenberg. You know he'll get that position back, but he has no chances of winning today. He gets him right away on the straight after the hairpin. Back into 6th. Vettel, meanwhile, back into the race lead. He just passed Bottas moments ago. So Vettel, with the one, according to the investigations, the one responsible, though Stroll clearly spun out first, similar to what happened with me. Neither of them get a penalty, but Vettel benefits from the crash, and it puts him in the race lead, as all he needed was a new set of tires. And he wins the race. Bottas finishes 2nd with a Ferrari 1-2, Gasly 3, Ocon 4, Hamilton 5. The other Mercedes does not finish. Sainz 6, Hulkenberg 7. We end up right at the back besides Cassidy in 19 and 20. What a terrible, terrible race for us today. Both cars having some problems. Well, Vern didn't have problems. Yes, he did. He he had that rear wing that needed replacing. Otherwise, he would have been about 16th, maybe 17th. And then, of course, Verstappen, double problems today. He had the collision with the puncture and front wing. Pits, fixes those, and then later, not his fault at all, Kubica spins out, but he makes light contact with Kubica in through that spin and gets a drive-through penalty. Absolutely ruined his day. Both of those, really, but that second one, that hurt. He would have finished in the points if not for that. That's going to do it for this episode. Like I said, next time we're going to start going into double races for the next little while. We're through 6 of 16 for this season, so I expect at least to go through the rest of this season. So 5 episodes, 10 races should finish things up for the year. And then we'll see where we're at the end of the season, if the car is competitive enough. Right now, we are now 22 and 24. We were 23-24. Verstappen's car just good enough now to be 22nd. Little disappointing because I thought we were going to be a bit better off from progressing last year to this year. The baseline, a lot better than it was, but still not good enough. We're getting closer, though. We are getting closer, and there's plenty of improvability in the car this year. So, long term, by the end of the season, hopefully, we'll not just be back markers. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Be sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.